you can still buy a house in the US for under $10,000. Not a dollhouse. And no, this isn't a Craigslist trap or a haunted property with 17 disclaimers. It's real, it's happening, and you're not supposed to know about it. So here's the thing, while most of the country's choking on six-figure mortgages, there are towns quietly offering homes so cheap it feels illegal. But here's what nobody tells you, there's always a twist. Sometimes it's an old coal town with faster internet than LA. Other times, it's a lakeside paradise where you'll need bear spray and a backup generator. We're diving into 25 towns where home prices are suspiciously low, and every single one comes with a wait, what moment? One town on this list has a ghost tour, run by the mayor. Another, the median home price is lower than a used Honda Civic. And trust me, you're not ready for what's next. Like this video so the algorithm thinks I'm important. Subscribe because someday you'll want to escape. This isn't surface level. This is the part most people miss. By the end of this video, you'll either be packing your bags or second guessing why it's this affordable. Number 25, Harlingen. You can rent a full 3-bedroom house in Harlingen for less than a studio apartment in Tulsa. Yeah. Tulsa. Let that sink in. Harlingen, Texas, population just over 71,000, deep in the Rio Grande Valley, practically neighbors with Mexico. On the surface, it's palm trees, perpetual sun, and the kind of prices that make real estate agents in LA burst into tears. This place regularly ranks among the cheapest cities in America to live. Median home price around $136,000. That's less than most down payments elsewhere. Plus, no state income tax, low property taxes, and tacos on every corner. So why isn't everyone moving here? Well, because cheap always comes with fine print. Crime? Higher than average, 35% more than national rates, with theft and car break-ins topping the charts. Job market, not exactly booming. Unemployment rates dance above the national average. And as one Reddit user brutally put it, living in Harlingen is like time traveling to 1998, except the Blockbuster's still closed. Housing's cheap, yes, but salaries often match the price tag. And the summer heat? Let's just say your air conditioner becomes a family member. So what's the emotional cost of affordability? You'll save money, sure, but you might also spend your evenings triple-checking your car locks or wondering if the nearest shopping mall is just a Dollar Tree next to a vape shop. And don't even get me started on the drivers. I swear, every other car in Harlingen either has no turn signal or it's permanently stuck on. People will signal left, then go straight, and no one blinks. I once saw someone make a U-turn into a Taco Bell drive-thru in reverse. At this point, traffic laws in Harlingen feel more like gentle suggestions, kind of like putting the toilet seat down. Picture it, you step outside to warm sunrise, birds chirping, the smell of breakfast tacos in the air, then immediately dodge a rogue shopping cart rolling across the H-E-B parking lot. Welcome to Harlingen, and if you think Harlingen is wild, the next place somehow made weird a competitive sport. Number 24. Weirton. In Weirton, West Virginia, the average home costs less than a new Toyota Camry and comes with more steel history than your uncle's conspiracy blog. Weirton used to be the kind of town where steel flowed like coffee and high school football was basically religion. Nestled on the Ohio River, it's technically part of the Pittsburgh Metro, but don't tell the locals that. They will fight you. The town still has a nostalgic blue-collar charm with local diners, porch culture, and streets that feel frozen in a sepia-toned postcard from 1963. Median home price? Around $112,000. Seems like a steal, right? But then the steal dried up. Weirton's economy took a hit in the 80s that it's still recovering from. Job growth? Flatlined harder than your favorite childhood cartoon. The population's been slowly declining for decades, and about 18% of residents are over 65, which is great if you love bingo, not so much if you're looking for a startup scene. One Redditor wrote, Weirton is where time stands still, and so does the Wi-Fi. Crime's relatively low, yay, but wages are too. The median household income is around $45,000, and that's if you're lucky enough to be working full-time. So what do you really get? A town that feels quiet, safe, and nostalgic? Until you realize your biggest Friday night thrill might be a Sheetz run and half-off mozzarella sticks. The price tag is sweet, but the social energy? Let's just say you better bring your own party. Weirton is the kind of place where GPS still gets confused and tells you to turn left into 1947. I saw 3 barbershops, 2 bowling alleys, and not a single Starbucks. Not one. You want fancy coffee? Your options are gas station cappuccino or make peace with black drip. Also, why does every parking lot have one random shopping cart and 0 stores around? Imagine stepping outside to the distant hum of cicadas, a neighbor waving from a 1978 lawn chair, and the smell of charcoal and mothballs. It's peaceful, sure, until you need fast internet and end up Googling DSL alternatives that don't suck. And if you thought Weirton was stuck in time, the next town throws logic out the window and then builds a Dollar General on top of it. Number 23, Decatur. Decatur is the kind of town where you can buy a 3-bedroom house for under $90,000 and still have enough left over for a year's supply of Febreze. And yes, there's a reason for that. Welcome to Decatur, Illinois, home to about 68,000 people, a sea of cornfields, and an uncanny obsession with soybeans. No, really, it's nicknamed the soybean capital of the world. This place has more processing plants than Starbucks cups in LA. And housing? Median price is around $93,000. Cost of living is 26% lower than the national average. Rent hovers below $800. Sounds like a dream, right? But then, it turns out dreams in Decatur come with a faint industrial odor and a crime rate that makes you double-check your car doors, even at church. Decatur's violent crime rate is 54% higher than the US average. And while the job market leans heavily into manufacturing and agriculture, it's not exactly a magnet for fresh tech grads or digital nomads. And as one brutally honest Redditor put it, it's affordable, sure, just don't open your windows when ADM's cooking. So here's what it really means to live here. Your mortgage? Laughably low. Your air quality? Dubiously high in hints of corn syrup. Social scene? Well, let's just say if you're under 40, you might be hanging with retirees at the local VFW on a Friday night. Look, Decatur drivers treat stop signs like polite suggestions. I saw a guy roll through a 4-way with a coffee in one hand and a chicken biscuit in the other like he was auditioning for a farm-to-table NASCAR league. Also, can we talk about the weather? It's either too humid to function or so windy you're chasing your garbage can into Indiana. Picture this. It's 6 a.m. and the factory steam fogs up the sunrise. You grab a hot gas station coffee, pass a grain silo on the way to work, and wave at your neighbor, who's been shoveling soybeans off his porch since 1987. Decatur isn't trying to impress you, it's just existing, proudly. Would you live in a place where your house smells like soy sauce 3 times a week? Yes or no? Let the comments fight it out. I've lived in Decatur my whole life. It's quiet, it's cheap, and it always smells like we're about to make soup. And if you think Decatur's funky air is intense, the next town's weirdness might actually follow you home. Number 22, Enid. Enid is one of the only cities in America where the houses are dirt cheap, and so is the dirt. Welcome to Enid, Oklahoma, a town where the tractors are loud, the skies are big, and your dollar actually stretches further than your Wi-Fi signal. With a population just over 51,000, Enid's known for wheat, oil, and that small town vibe where people wave at you just for having a face. Median home price, about $128,000. Cost of living, 17% below the national average. Rent, around $750 a month if you want a 2-bedroom and aren't picky about laminate floors. It's affordable, it's calm, it's got charm, but then you start to notice the quiet is a little too quiet. Job market, mostly ag, aviation, or government, but if you're not flying planes or fixing pipelines, options are limited. Enid's unemployment rate hovers above 4.5%, and unless